Hi Stampers! Welcome to my YouTube channel and Spotlight on Stamping. It's something that I started on Saturday mornings to kind of end my week of card making, to go over the stamp set that I used in a little bit more detail and talk about the cards that I made in a little bit more detail. Answer any questions that you may have had that you accumulated over the week if you saw one of my cards, and to make something else with you today. So I'm going to turn the camera around and we'll get started right away. So this week I made a lot of cards using the Banner Year stamp set. So this again is a polymer stamp set, which means it is clear stamps that you can see through. And let me bring one in here. So you have your clear stamp and you put it on a block of your choice. There's all different sizes of blocks that Stampin' Up! Sells. And then when you stamp, you can see right through it. So I really like these stamps. They're really easy to use, and obviously because you can see through them when you're stamping, it makes things that much easier. So back to the stamp set. So this stamp set, Banner Year, covers stamps or occasions from fall to Valentine's Day, but again, with your imagination, you can create a card for any occasion. So I do have several cards that I'm going to share with you, so stay to the end and we'll go over each one of those. Plus we're going to make a card. But so these stamps are made to basically go with punches. So you can stamp and then punch them out with many of the banner punches that Stampin' Up! Sells. I do have one here. This one's discontinued. I love this one. It is the triple banner punch. So it allows you to put in your strips of paper and do a banner punch, and this you can do from 2 inches to 1 3/4 down to 1 inch. Like I said, that one is discontinued. There is another one out there called Pick a Banner. That one is available. And then there's the Lovely as a Pick, which I used a lot this week with a lot of the cards that I made. So let me just show you. We have two different options here. So I went ahead and I stamped the sentiment, Happy Haunting, and then I went ahead and I put a bat. I stamped a bat on each side, and I just did this on a 1-inch strip, longer than I needed. And then all you do is you can put it into your banner punch, and you want to flip it over, make sure it's centered right there, and then you give it a punch and it creates that pretty little end right there. So it just gives it more of a fancier look, and it kind of finishes it off. But there is no problem with just taking a rectangle and stamping right on a rectangle and adding that to your card. So let me show you a few other examples. So here, these are all sentiments from this Banner Year, and it has all these different little small images that you can add to your card. So for example, Christmas wishes, and then I stamped the little Santa hat right next to it. Happy Thanksgiving with a leaf. Happy fall ya all, and I used the squirrel and the acorn. And then the one we just saw is the little envelope, Guess Who Loves You. That'd be great for a lot of different occasions, not just Valentine's. You could send that with a note with your kids in their lunch, things like that. And then again, I'm not going to use let me bring in my cutter. So basically you would stamp. You can either stamp your sentiments like I did, and then cut it down, and then you can either square it off and add it to your card, or again you can put it in a punch that gives it a pretty little edge, like that one there. So again, I do have lots of cards I'm going to share with you right now, but I do want to talk a little bit more about some of the sentiments in here. So what's nice about this is it has the different sentiments for Halloween, Valentine's, a to and from. You can make a tag to and from, obviously for any occasion, but it also has really, really pretty font. I just love like the Happy Haunting. What a fun little font. It's not just block, it's really just different. Of course, you do have a big and bold Boo. The Be Merry is great for some Christmas tags. XOXO. So it's got a lot of fun fonts that you could use for many cards, and then it has all these sweet little images that you can just put right next to your sentiment. So sometimes it's hard. It's like, okay, I've got all these little images, but what do I do? Here's the Christmas wishes with the holly. So basically what you need to do is just start stamping on a scrap sheet, and sometimes that's all you need to do, and then the creativity starts to flow. So let me show you a few of the cards that I made. And so I took this stamp set and I mixed it up with a lot of different papers and a lot of different dies. So the first one I posted this week is using Pansy Petal Designer Series paper. And let me see here, I think I have. So Pansy Petals, when you think of Pansy Petals, this is the stamp set, the die set that you would normally create. Well, what I did was I took the pretty paper and I punched out different leaves in fall colors. It kind of looks like they're falling off the card, falling leaves, and then I put Happy Fall Ya All. But what I really like about this card is when you open it, it has the pretty Designer Series paper on both sides. So I didn't do a video on this one, but I like this so much. I think I'm going to make some really pretty Christmas cards to show off some of the pretty Designer Series paper that Stampin' Up! Has, and show you how you just put it together so easily so you can see the pretty paper both on the inside and out. And then here I just did a fancy a piece of 5 1/4 by 4, and I just cut it out with that fancy, oh, I forgot what it's called, the border dies. And that is just a fun look for inside. So that was the first card. The second card I made was a scenery card. And I used the window, what is it called? Window flower box dies. So let me show you what the window flower box dies normally would look like. This is a card I made with the window flower box dies. Very, very pretty. But I wanted to make a Halloween card. So I created a scary scene, not too scary, because I used the cute Halloween Designer Series paper. Let me bring that in and show it to you. So this is the Designer Series paper. It's called Cute Halloween. 6 by 6, I show all the cutouts that I did. 6 by 6 pieces of paper that's double-sided. And so what I did on this one is, let me see if I can find that piece of paper that I used. There we go. So that Designer Series paper there with all the fun little ghosts, I cut out and I added my 2 ghosts and the pumpkin. That's this paper right here, that piece of paper that's in there. So I just fussy cut them out. So first I made the window scene with the window flower box dies, the shutters. I added some boards to make it look like it was boarded up, and added some bats and the words Happy Haunting. And this again is the Cute Halloween Designer Series paper. And there is a video that I made. It's on my YouTube channel, so you can go back and look at how I put this together. And then inside I just put Boo. So I thought that was a pretty busy front, and then just inside Boo. So I kind of like that one. So the only difference with these two, this was the first one I made. This was the one I made on my YouTube channel, and I just used a different color cardstock. This is soft suede, to make the wood X's, the crosses, look a little bit darker. So I really like this one. Also on this one, let me just show you really quick. You could frame it. Just put it in a nice little frame and you have a piece of holiday decor there. Really simple and fast. But this is a fun card. This is going to my nieces and nephews. Got a few nieces and nephews out there. I think they'll get a kick out of that card. The next card is a bit of a fancy fold. You open it up like this. So you can see it's got, see how it's like that? It's like cut. And again, I used the Cute Halloween Designer Series paper, and I cut out a few images. And this little bat I stamped with the Banner Year stamps right there. And I just fussy cut him out, and I added Boo. And the directions for this card was in my weekly newsletter. So every Thursday I put out a newsletter, and in it I include an exclusive card just for my subscribers with all the directions on how to make it. So again, if you're not a subscriber, you can go to my blog, which is www.stampandshout.com, and up in the top it says subscribe to my newsletter, and then every Thursday I give you the latest stamping news and include a free card. Then on Friday what I like to do is I like to do a real fast card, a simple card, and then I like to make it fancy. So I don't have the fast card because I actually took it and made it fancy. So all I did for this one, and this is a card we're going to make, it has pretty strips of designer series paper that's banner punched, and it has the pretty Parisian floral, is that what it's called? The Parisian floral or flourish 3D folder, so it added a lot of texture. And then I did the pumpkin in a different color, so it's non-traditional. So I really, really, really like this one. That's one we're going to make. And I have one more. Now I haven't even posted this one. And this was a card that I made using the Give It a Whirl dies. So as you can see, we have different little cutouts that I took from the cute Halloween designer series paper. And I created this Give It a Whirl card. So let's see, this has this pretty black shimmer ribbon on it. And again, that's the cute Halloween designer series paper. This one has the black and white gingham check ribbon, which I really like, and the cute Halloween designer series paper. And then this one was made with the window flower box dies, and the cutouts are from that cute Halloween designer series paper. And this one is a little bit of the fancy fold where you can see both sides of the designer series paper, and that's the pansy petal designer series paper. And then the cutout leaves are from the pansy dies. So that's my week in review. So this one here we're going to make right now, real simple, fast and easy. I have most of the things cut out, so it won't take too long, but you can see how I put it together. And I used the Tidings of Christmas designer series paper, 6x6, 48 sheets. I think there's 6 different patterns, and it's double-sided. So this uses the in colors of the, what is it called? I have it here somewhere because I'm going to use it. Soft Succulent and Evening Evergreen. So the dark green and the lighter green colors, really pretty. So let's make this card really fast. I think you'll like it. I'm going to scroll over here and see if I see any comments. So if you're watching me live, go ahead and say hi. If you're watching me on replay, go ahead and type in replay and type in any comments or questions. I see I have someone from Portage, Michigan. Beautiful Michigan. Love Michigan. So football's starting today, so I'm going to be in my craft room all afternoon because my husband said football starts today at noon, so this is where I will be. So I have a piece of cardstock that is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And again, that's in the new Evening Evergreen. And for inside, I have 2 pieces: a white piece that's 5 1/4 by 4, and a stamping piece that's 5 by 3 3/4. And then I just cut a little strip of that designer series paper that I'm going to put on the inside. That's about a 3/8 inch strip. So it just adds a little bit extra pizzazz inside your card. And you have those little strips left over, so it's a nice way to use them up. So again, on the front, I have a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of white, and my 5 by 3 3/4 piece of white for the front. I ran it through the Parisian flourishing or something like that. I have to, I don't know the name of it, but if you go back to my blog today, I'm going to have a picture of all these cards and all the supplies listed below, so you don't have to worry if I botched up the name. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and put these 2 pieces together, and I'm going to use my glue to do that. And I got a little bit too much glue on here, so I'm going to bring in my little silicone mat. Gets rid of some of the extra. And I'm going to put that right in the center. Now this mat that's behind it, the white piece, that's purely optional. It just adds a little bit more elegance to the card. It really makes it look kind of pretty. And before I attach that to the front, I'm going to bring in, I have 3 strips. They're 3 inches by 3/4 inch. So you can use whatever kind of designer series paper you want, whatever mat goes together pretty. And this again is the Tidings of Christmas, but I thought that it would be really pretty. Really pretty. Did I use the same ones? Yep. For Thanksgiving. So I think they're really pretty, kind of non-traditional colors. Then I have a little scrap here that is 2 1/4 by 2, and I'm actually going to attach my strips to this piece. But before I do that, I'm going to bring in my lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch, And I'm going to go ahead and slide this in. And I'm not going to slide it all the way to the end because that would make it a little bit too short than what I want. So I'm just going to make sure it's centered and give it a punch. And I'm going to do that on both ends. So once I can see it right there, all the way in but not to the end, I'm going to give it a punch. And this is just to ensure that mine are all going to be the same because I cut them all to 3 inches. So they should be pretty close to the same. And if they're not, that's okay. They don't have to be exactly perfect. It just will make our card more unique. I like to say that. Whatever happens with your card, it's your card. It adds your own personality and love to it, so just have fun with it. That's what we're here for, right? Have fun making it and sending out a smile to whoever the lucky recipient is. So I have those done, and I can actually glue them on this. And this is just, I'll show you how it's going to fit. It's going to fit like this. So it kind of just fits nicely on there. And that's purely optional, but I'm going to go ahead and put glue on here and go ahead and line these up. And I just started at the right side and they kind of all just fit on there. And that's, again, this little base piece is purely optional. So there we go, we got that. I'm going to put some dimensionals on this in a minute. Then I have a strip, and I'm going to think this is what, 3/4 of an inch. Yep, about 3/4 of an inch. It's longer than I need because I'm going to cut it down with that punch. But I'm going to bring in my Evening Evergreen and my Happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to punch it or stamp it over to the right. Because I want room here for my pumpkin. So let me bring in another scrap here, and I'm going to bring in Soft Succulent, and I'm going to bring in my little pumpkin. You could stamp it right on your banner, on your strip here if you want. That would be just fine. You can do whatever you like. I'm going to stamp it right here on a scrap, because I'm going to cut it out and pop it up. So I'm just holding this down for a bit, let that ink saturate. Ooh, that's dark. Do I want it that dark? I think I'm going to stamp off. Well, that doesn't look like it's coated well enough. I'm holding my ink, my stamp on my ink for a little bit longer. I wonder if I used mint macaron. I'm just cleaning this stamp off. I'm going to see if perhaps I used mint macaron. So let's see. Make sure this is clean. Mint macaron it is. So mint macaron pumpkin. Bring back in the Evening Evergreen, and I'm going to do the little pumpkin leaf and stem on top. So again, the polymer stamps are nice because you can see right through them, so you can get pretty close to where you want it to be. And there we go. So what I would do with that is fussy cut it out, but through the magic of video, I already have that done. So I'm going to bring that in, and I'm going to bring in my banner punch, my lovely labels punch. So there's two choices, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the words down. So So when I flip it over, if I were too close to the words, I would see the words popping through right there. But I have plenty of room, so I'm going to make sure it's centered and give it a punch. Perfect. And then I'm going to kind of look at this. My pumpkin is going to go right there. So I have plenty of room to punch the end of this. Same thing, I'm centering it. And I'm going to give it a look and see how much room I have. And I'm going to punch it one more time. Instead of me cutting it down first and maybe it being too short, I'm going to just punch it one more time. I'm going to put it back in and give it a little bit, another punch, and just make it just a little bit shorter. And then when I put my pumpkin down, it's just the right length. So that's that. Now we can put our card together. So I'm bringing my dimensionals, excuse me, and I put a dimensional, 4 dimensions on, and 1 in the middle. So each corner, and 1 in the middle. And I put that right here on my card front. Just like that. I think I'm going to go ahead and put this on my card base so you can see it a little better. So the fast card that I made, I just took the strips, put them on my card, didn't care if they were crooked or not. I did not emboss the front, and I just added the sentiment. So it was quick and easy. Just cut some 3-inch strips. You don't even have to banner punch if you're making a fast one, but I do love the way it looks. And then this one here, I'm going to put a dimensional on each end, right at the end, and that's going to pop it up again on top of those strips, right in the center. My pumpkin I'm going to pop up with the dimensional. Then I'm going to bring in the pretty rhinestones. And I'm going to put one on each end of that banner. Then I'm going to bring in a bow. I made this bow earlier. This comes in gold and silver, and I'm just going to take a glue dot. So again, all the supplies are going to be on my blog. If you're interested in any of these supplies, you can go ahead and shop with me. And I definitely need to cut this down a little bit. But that little silver bow just adds a nice bit of pizzazz to the card. I really like it. I guess I could have made it a teeny bit smaller, but it's pretty. It really shows off. So the inside, I'm going to take, and I think on this one I'm going to leave it blank inside. I'm not sure what I want to stamp inside yet. Front says Happy Thanksgiving. But I'm going to go ahead and attach the smaller piece, the 5 by 3 3/4, to the larger piece, which is 5 1/4 by 4. And this I cut longer than I needed. This is a 5-inch strip. And I'm guessing here. So I'm just going to glue that on the inside just to give it a little bit more, a little prettier look. That pretty paper. I got too much glue on it. I'm trying to wipe it off. And then I'm going to glue that on the inside. So that's how I made my card, my fancy card. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions on any of the cards that I made or any of the products that I used, please don't hesitate to ask. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already a subscriber. I'd appreciate that. I'm getting so close to 5,000 subscribers. I'm really excited about that. And obviously in the scheme of things, 5,000 viewers on YouTube is not a lot, but for me it's pretty darn exciting, so I'm excited about that. So again, there's my blog, stampandshout.com. This is my host code. If you shop with me, you can go ahead and plug that in. That allows me to send you some extra goodies. And my extra goodies this week, I am sending out 6x6 pieces of the Peaceful Deer Designer Series paper. So the first 4 people that order from me, I have some extra paper that I'm going to send to them. So I want to say thank you in advance. And I think that's it. Until next week, make sure you visit my blog because I'm going to be posting next week with 1 stamp set. I'll be posting and doing videos, and then I will meet back here on Saturday to talk about the cards in more detail and the stamp set and answer any questions that you have. So again, don't be shy. Stamp and shout.